Palmistry palm reading of Sadhvi Pragya Singh Thakur. She is an Indian politician, member of parliament representing Bhopal, and she defeated Digvijay Singh, a famous politician from Indian National Congress, and she was a prime accused in Malegaon blast. So she had lots of pressure on her, and for a very long time. So we are going to be talking regarding her palm and her life as well. So before I start my palmistry video, I would request you to press the bell icon and don't miss another update on my new videos that are coming up. And you can call me or you can email me regarding the palm reading session if you wish to take a palm reading session. So straight away we head to this particular hand image and what it basically says about her. uh, I've like kind of enlarged this particular hand image. You would also say one thing that the lines do not appear to be very clear. I do agree to some extent, but there's more to palmistry reading than just the lines. It is apart from the lines also we can tell a lot about the palm even if we are not able to see the lines as such. So you would notice few prominent things that are seen on her palm. This is the pointing finger. This is the finger of Jupiter. Jupiter is the area of administration, religion, politics, and honor, and a honorable position for her. Whoever has got a prominent mount of Jupiter, it means that those qualities of Jupiter are there in abundance. You would notice that there's a huge padding over the first finger. Not many people, very few people, like in 100 people, if we try to find how many people would have this kind of a padding, only probably 4 or 5% might have this kind of a padding, this prominent kind of a padding over the mount of Jupiter. See, Mount of Jupiter represents administration, religion, and politics, and organizational skills and systems. So all these things are there in abundance in her, and and this is also the area of governance. She knows how to reach the top and govern. Basically, this is what she is, and she is known as a sadhvi. Sadhvi means a lady who like prays, who is into praying and in religion. But this finger of Jupiter is all about position and power. So people who are in position and power, if they have this area to be prominent, they would be excellent in governance. Sometimes they might be excellent in governance, or sometimes they might be there to reach the high position and maintain that high position because of their qualities. So a lawyer, a top judge can have this area to be prominent. A top politician, a top IS officer, a top IPS officer, or a top people who are in foreign services, any place where respect comes. So this is the area of respect. And you can notice in many people's hand, very few people would have a padding out here over the mount of Jupiter. So Jupiter prominent is the main thing to see regarding her palm. And one more thing I need to add out here, I would just show you the this is her Janampatri, her birth chart, and you would notice this is the main area of, this is called the Kendra. Kendra means the center of the main house, and main planet that is there is basically Jupiter out here. Jupiter, whenever prominent, is like people who rise up to high position would have Jupiter somewhere out here, or maybe out here, or maybe out here, or maybe out here. So these four areas there could be, but the main area where Jupiter is good is out here. So it means Raj Yog, being in a position of power and position, and like even after uh, being in jail, probably she was in jail for a very long time. Even out there also, nobody like she still reached that high position of being an MP, member of parliament. That's a very, very high position in India. So, people who are into governance, they are there. So this is a beautiful aspect that is seen in her palm. And she was able to defeat a very former chief minister, Digvijay Singh, who is one of the top leaders in Congress, and still she was able to defeat her. Uh, Although it was a safe seat for BJP, because normally in Bhopal they win mostly, but uh, still she was able to defeat even after having so many allegations against her. One more thing I need to add out here is that when she was in trouble, like everybody, like all the in those times the Congress was in power, so lots of pressure might have been put on her, but yet nobody can defeat these people because of a strong, very strong, well padded area of Mount of Jupiter. So this is the first thing. Now the second thing to see is that the heart line appears to be deep and clear and singular. It might be like, I at least I feel that in the image it appears to be very neat and clean. So it means that the person is able to take stress and anxiety and able to manage that stress and come out of those problems in an easy way. People who have got broken kind of a heartline would mean those people are not focused, and those people are not able to offer their life to a singular cause. But she is a person who has been able to give her life to a singular cause. You call it Hindutva or whatever you can call it, but this is what she is, and she's focused towards it. And people who are focused, they get success. People who are flirtatious, see, I would just draw some lines. Some people have many lines over branches over the line of heart, so it would mean lack of focus. She does not have it, and just drawing it just to explain to you what palmistry is. So people who have these branches means that the person is lacking in focus and is flirtatious. Flirtatious can be in your work on or in your relationship. So both ways she's not. She's highly focused, and she this singular kind of a line could also mean detachment. Detachment does not mean not enjoying your life. Detachment is what Bhagavad Gita says, being in a moment without having expectation of the outcome. This is what she basically practices. The heartline also ends under the mount of Saturn. This is the mount of Saturn. Saturn is basically for business purposes. Saturn is basically for money management and management of resources, and it is also for wisdom and taking wise decisions. So whenever I say one thing like a wisdom, so each planet has got good points as well as bad points. When I say wisdom, it could, and wise decision, it could be also unwise decisions as well. So one planet can go both ways, but it appears that this is like, I can't really say what the mount is looking out here, like how the mount is appearing to be out here. If there are too many lines over here, then probably the person makes wrong decisions. But because of the quality of the image is not so good, I would not comment. But the only thing that I can say is that heartline ending under the mount of Saturn means that these people are able to accumulate great amount of wealth around themselves. And it's not that every person who has a heartline ending under the mount of Saturn would always accumulate good amount of wealth. They could also be highly responsible. They could be responsible towards the cause they have in their mind. In her case, Hindutva is basically the cause she represents. So she's responsible towards this particular cause, and that is the reason why she basically is getting the result out of it. And she also manages the resources in the best possible way. Like, she might use the resources best possible way for her own self, like for her own personal use, or for her constituency. It could be both ways depending upon where the person is targeting. If she's targeting that she wants to accumulate good amount of wealth for herself, she would accumulate huge amounts of wealth. But if she says that I do not want anything, but I want to give everything to the society, and So this is where she would get absolutely, like, she would be able to manage the resources for the constituency she represents in the best possible way. Many businessmen, most of the businessmen, have their heartline ending under the mount of Saturn, but this does not mean that only businessmen might have the heartline ending under the mount of Saturn. Even saints might have the heartline ending under the mount of Saturn. If the heartline reaches the mount of Jupiter, it would mean out here it's not reaching. If it reaches the amount of Jupiter is for purity of emotions, but out here there's no purity in emotions, but there's responsibility in emotions. So responsibility in emotions comes from the Jupiter is a responsible planet. Saturn is a responsible planet, and Jupiter is basically an idealistic planet. Like, it is seeking ideal situation. See, there cannot be any ideal situation in life. There can only be real situations. So she knows the ground situations well. Saturn is basically representing knowing the ground situations the best possible way. So this is what she is. The other part is the mount of Venus. Venus is the area of your desires. This is the area of your energy, stamina, vitality. It appears to be prominent. So whenever prominent, it means huge amount of energy levels, vitality, stamina. She when Congress was in power, probably she many, like, they would have tried to break her up, but still she didn't break up, and she had that faith in her. This is the amount of Jupiter, and there was always people around him to support her. Support came from that faith, the religion. So she knew how to play it, those things very well. Uh, Even professors might have a very well padded area of Jupiter. Even people who are chancellors, vice chancellors, or people who are in high position of honor, they basically have, or even pundits, people who are praying, the top pundits might have this. So the spiritual knowledge is also represented by the Jupiter part. Last thing before I end out here, you notice these four planets, Jupiter, Saturn should not be too much padded out here. So Saturn is not padded, and this is the area of Sun and Mercury. All these planets appear to be well padded. Very few people might have padding under the fingers out here. People might have padding over the Venus. Most of the people have. Even Moon they might have, but very few people have padding out here. So richness, these padding over the mounts basically brings in richness. What does it bring? Richness does not mean money, only money. Richness is basically richness in content. So the person is rich in content. If she basically decides to have a large gathering and able to accumulate huge amounts of crowd, probably she has that particular ability to organize, build systems, and play by the book. Basically, this is what the person is. And faith brings her out of problems, and it's an excellent hand to have, and brings in richness and qualities basically bring you out of trouble. Before I end this particular video, people want to know about money, possessions, and wealth. Importance of money line in terms of how much money we will have is just 15%, nothing more than that. So we can come to know about money from almost all aspects of our hand. It can be it can come from money line or heart line or headline, life, Mercury, Venus, Mars, or any other line. We can come to know about money from all those lines. And out here in this particular hand, I indicated Venus mount, Mercury, like Jupiter mount. Those are extremely prominent. So these are the areas where she is rich in qualities out there, and that's where she can get whatever she wants. And a saint once said, you do not need to go to an astrologer or palmist to know about your future, because you already know your future. Present is the result of past. How will be my future? Future depends upon what you are doing in the present. What are we? We are product of our thoughts. So the thoughts that come to our mind are really important. Keep positive thoughts and keep good company. In Hindi, we say Sat Sang. It means being in the right company. See, even sometimes what we have is that the person might have the best possible kind of a hand, but if they are in the wrong company, they are probably going to go in the wrong direction. And sometimes the hand quality does not show much of qualities, but yet the person might have reached a high position. This is due to because the person has been in the right company. So company matters the most. Whatever your palm might be saying, it doesn't matter much. And thanks for watching this video. Press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update.